Persona 5 is a turn-based JRPG/life simulation game by Atlus for PS3 and PS4 that was nominated for Game of the Year in 2017, though it lost to Breath of the Wild. For those concerned, no, this game is not a direct sequel of the past games in the series, so you can jump in without having played any of the other games and you can be fully caught up. In Persona 5, you play as a Japanese teenager with the name of your choosing and the alias Joker, who is on probation for assaults against a man who was doing bad things to a woman on the streets. The game opens with Joker escaping a casino. He is, however, caught and interrogated. The majority of the game is composed of the protagonist retelling the story of how his criminal group called the Phantom Thieves were able to, as they say, steal people's hearts, and why they made the choices they made up until the day you are caught. Persona 5 is split into two different gameplay styles: everyday high school student life simulator, and turn-based RPG dungeon crawling in the metaverse. While in the metaverse, you traverse through the manifestation of certain people's distorted desires, called a palace, each main palace themed after one of the 7 deadly sins. In the palace, the objective is to find the person's treasure, which is also the source of their distortion, and then take it out of their palace. Each time you attempt to do so, you are put into a boss fight with a shadow version of the person whose heart you are stealing. Doing so successfully means that congratulations, you have now stolen that person's heart, and they should soon change their ways. The gameplay uses pretty standard turn-based RPG mechanics, but what makes it really interesting is that if you knock down all the enemies, you can start a hold-up. In a hold-up, you can perform an all-out attack, which looks really cool, ask the enemy for items or money, or you can ally with enemies to make them your own personas. You can even fuse them to create better personas that spoil the next palace's enemies. When not in the world of the metaverse, you must live in the real world doing real-world things, such as going to school, working for money, hanging out with friends, giving a washed-up politician life advice, or pretending to crucify yourself for art. Each important ally you make a deal with becomes your confidant, and each confidant represents a certain tarot card, which as a JoJo fan I really like. This system of partnership feels a little artificial, but their interactions themselves do a really good job of simulating real-world problems that people may have. Each confidant has their own mini story arc that you must help them with in order to maximize your relationship with them, and once you do, you get some special perk that comes with them. What makes the Persona series truly interesting is the way that these two gameplay styles are meshed together to make every action you take feel much more meaningful and impactful to your progress. Since the game has set dates in which plot events must occur on, you have to plan your free time to be as efficient and meaningful as possible, because if you fail to complete palaces on their deadlines, the game branches off into a bad ending and then sends you a week behind so you don't have to make the same stupid mistake and ignore the world's problems because you want to eat burger. Most actions cause time to pass, and if you decide to enter a palace for the day, it is a commitment because you will be too tired to do anything at night, which is unused time that you could be using to learn the shogi meta. That is, unless you have a good relationship with your homeroom teacher, in which case she can give you a re-energizing massage. Persona 5 is a very striking art style and makes strong use of the color red. The text has these boxes around them that I think are very interesting. The menus are always in your face and you can see Joker moving through every transition. Every time you are prompted to respond, you are shown a screen with your options and the protagonist's face thinking. Everywhere you look, you can tell that each artistic decision was intentional and they make the game look great. While the model animation and everyday conversation looks a little stiff and sometimes shake out of place, the amount of care put into the fully animated scenes is astounding. Nope, no, that's the enemy. There we go. Each character's design does a very good job reflecting who they are. Each part of their outfit that is supposed to be the same throughout every student has something unique to them, representing how they stand out without standing out from the rest of society. For example, Ryuji. Ryuji's dyed blonde hair and t-shirt under his blazer gives him a rebellious vibe as he purposely sets himself from the norm while still retaining most of the dress code, just with his own flair. The thieves' outfits especially do a good job of representing who they are internally because those outfits are a manifestation of their rebellious spirit, and through them, you get to implicitly learn more about them. Persona 5 has music that captures the emotion of every scene in the game. That and they're just real bangers. The first song you hear with the opening animation when you start the game, Wake Up, Get Out There, does a really good job of capturing what the game is about. Breaking out of your shell and bringing about change when everyone else is against it because they are comfortable in their state of meh. The accompanying visuals of ice skating and running help to convey the freedom the characters have to change the world as they feel is necessary. Beneath the Mask is one of the most repeated songs in the game that plays in the background of whatever you're doing during the night, and fits perfectly with the calming yet sad tone of walking around Japan at night feeling like an outcast from society, while also just wanting to hide away. Tokyo Daylight, on the other hand, is very upbeat and compels the player to take action, echoing one of the main themes of the game almost every day after you leave school. An issue I had with this game that easily added hours to the playtime was the fact that I was too naive and believed I could beat the bosses in the game without grinding or preparation. No, that's not how Phantom Mafia works. No, if you don't prepare, you will spend hours of your life meaninglessly slapping a ham until you realize that you should give up and grind. Or RNG just shines upon you and one attack that kills you every time because you're underleveled just happens to miss. A large problem I had with the game was SP. SP is what allows your personas to use most of their abilities. And after progressing through a palace for about 2 hours, if you run out and have nothing that can refill it, you can't use your personas and are either forced into using melee attacks or using physical persona attacks which drain your health. This issue is somewhat alleviated by an item you can buy from a sketchy doctor, but they're expensive, especially if you get one for each party member. The real sledgehammer to the groin is a system of social stats. These social stats grow as you learn new skills and interact with different people. It's actually a pretty cool idea to have in a game because it's a way that you can see the growth of the character as the story develops. The issue to me comes when not having a high enough social stat prevents you from interacting with the people you want to. You want to tell the scary guy at the weapons shop that you looked in the bag? You need more guts. You want to help Yusuke with his art? Too bad, come back when you can fix a door. While the system adds realism to the game and gives the player a goal to work towards, it also gives the player immense dissatisfaction when they have the time in game to go talk to someone they want to bond with, but their kindness is too low. These issues detract from the experience, sure, especially the last one, but the game as a whole is still one of the best I've ever played. Persona 5 is a fun and engrossing experience that really makes you think about the consequences of defying the norms and if the actions you take are truly the correct ones. After 100 hours, you feel like the characters are your family and that you want to see where they go next, but sadly this game must conclude. Ending aside, the atmosphere created, the music, the art style and the creative menus, the references to mythology, and the writing of the plot and the characters and how the story comes further than full circle at the end. All of these elements of a game executed so perfectly create a true masterpiece that shows games can be an art form. With the amount that I enjoyed Persona 5, I would recommend this to anyone who has the patience to put over 100 hours into a game. I like this game so much I've been looking for ways to play Persona 3 and 4, but I don't want to invest in a Vita, but I also don't want to emulate it because I'm a coward. So for now, I'm just excited for Joker and Smash. I give Persona 5 a 9.3 out of 10 and second place on my top 10 favorite games of all time, after Sonic 06. Thanks for watching and go to sleep.